Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again, as always. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So it looks like your boy Nathan Wade and Fonnie Willis is back in the news that we're going to touch on both of them today. But right now, let's stick to Nathan Wade. This is from the New York Post. And it reads, Nathan Wade makes an absurd claim about the moment he and Fonnie Willis ended their love affair. I've noticed lately that a lot of these news sites now, when they do stories, their titles include a little bit of opinion or, like an op-ed type entrance and not just built on facts only. I think they are starting to come around to what most of the new like media, like the podcast, vlogs, and channels like this or what have you on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. They're following into their footsteps in their titles because they're trying to appeal to the masses, to the least amongst us, if you will. So I just want to put that out there because it was kind of interesting how that title is called what he said absurd, like you gave an opinion on what the man said. When it used to be in media and journalism, they would have never done that. But anyway, it says former Donald Trump prosecutor Nathan Wade made an absurd claim that he and Fonnie Willis ended their affair the moment they realized they were in love with each other, a statement completely at odds with his ex-lover's version of the events. With that being said, let me hit it like this. Maybe whoever wrote this from the New York Post is a Fonnie Willis supporter, which is which you could easily take that or believe that because they said that what he said was absurd, but it didn't say what she said was crazy. It said his statement was absurd because it was the opposite of what Fonnie said at first, which a lot of us believe was a lie also. So to me personally, both of them are sitting here telling lies. But let me continue. Speaking to ABC's Good Morning America, Wade claimed, I wish I would have saw the interview. Wade claimed he developed feelings for the Fulton County District Attorney who appointed him as special prosecutor in the election fraud case in 2021 over time. Quote, you don't plan to fall in love, he told the show in his first interview since he was made to resign from the case in March. You don't plan to have some relationship in the workplace. You don't set out to do that. Those things develop organically. They develop over time, which I can understand. I can understand. I can see it. Say the minute we had that, hold on, let me read. I don't want to go there just yet. But that statement that I just read, you hear a lot of times that people start relationships with people that they work with. And they say the reason why is that you spend most of your waking days or moments with people at work. So it would be, I can't say it makes sense. So there are times where it's probably bound to happen. If you spend a lot of time with people, so you get to know people, you talking to them every day, you're laughing, joking, doing business, who knows, sitting down at lunch, going to break, whatever. And people, it happens. I've seen it happen. So with him saying that, yeah, if it happens over time, and that's fine. But so there's why a lot of guys will say, man, my wife will never work. She'll never work for somebody or work in a business with somebody, which makes sense. But then again, your wife shouldn't be at home doing nothing either. But I'll get into that in another video later. I get into more details to why I believe that and why both arguments are fairly wrong. He said the minute we had that sobering moment, we discontinued it. Huh? It said Wade's statement contradicted Willis's testimony in February that there was always tension in her relationship with Wade and that they would have brutal arguments about the fact that she was his equal. I doubt a dude who has a law degree, making a lot of money, got a private practice, is arguing with another woman who I don't think she was a DA at the time, but whatever, about who's being equal. I could never see that argument with what you call an alpha or a sigma male, whatever term they want to use nowadays. Because when a man has got his stuff together, I don't care if he's making 50,000, 35,000, 100,000, 150, $200,000 a year, and a woman is making equal or more. He's not going to trip on her. He's not even going to consider her his equal. It's not going to be an argument from a man about a woman being his equal because he knows exactly where his position is. He could care less because if it's going to be a problem, then he'll just drop you off. Simple as that, and move on and go and find somebody who knows that she's either not his equal, or even if she is, she's not going to sit here and try to use it as a what you call it, as a pawn, or as a chip, as a bargaining chip, or a playing chip, or playing card against him. You know, it's like, man, whatever. You ain't you don't care how much money you make, because in the grand scheme of things, I mean, hey, biblically, you just ain't. I mean, you might make the same amount of money, this and the third, but no, I'm not even worried about that. And I won't even waste my time with somebody who thinks they're equal or greater than me, especially not no woman, nothing like that, especially if you're not my boss or superior. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's more of an issue with her, which when you see a lot of these women come out here and when they talk about themselves and relationships, the first thing they want to talk about is their degrees and the money they make and how independent they are, housing, cars, all that kind of stuff. When most guys, like real dudes, ain't gonna tell you about nothing. He'll meet you, you know what I'm saying? Y'all talk. He may invite you out for a cup of coffee, you know what I'm saying? Starbucks, even a brunch or something that ain't gonna be outrageous. Y'all have a nice little date, talk, whatever. Then over time, you'll start to realize what he has, what he does, and what he has going on. He'll let his actions and let everything else speak for him, and he won't have to brag, because it is what it is. He'll try to make it organic, like kind of like what he was saying was like, things grow organically. When it grows organically, you don't have to put all your business out there, because everything will come out, eventually. But so I think, like I say, it was her who had an issue with him not, putting her on the pedestal and bowing to her because she was a lawyer or a DA or whatever she was at the time. Quote, Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. She said at a hearing focused on whether Willis had a conflict of interest in the election interference case against Trump and his allies. And I told y'all in the video, I feel the reason why that she did him like that is because at that time, during that hearing, she found out that this dude was probably still knocking down other females, and probably, I think it was one female that he was knocking down before he was with her. And I think she found out that he was still with her, and probably took her to a cabin, because they questioned him about cabins. He was like, yeah, I've been to cabins many a times, but Bonnie Wilson never been to a cabin. So I think that's what really threw her off and pissed her off, and why she gave that emotional testimony. Which brings me to another statement. Man, I want to add something to this before I get back to Mr. Brother Willis. Emotions. You've heard the term toxic masculinity, right? Which is interesting in itself, because do you know that really, if you dig down deep into where toxic masculinity comes from, not the term, but the actual actions of where they say that, masculinity, men are being, they violent and and look down on women and like to fuss and of like real emotional and get upset, and it's just toxic the way they treat women. Do you know that is those are, you can attribute those to feminine traits? You can attribute that to, am I saying that right? Attribute that to a lack of testosterone. Because studies show that men nowadays have way less testosterone than men of the past. And less testosterone means you have more estrogen levels, which will cause men to become low weight, like they say, have man boobs, become emotional, become very emotional, erratic, and violent. And you can, like I say, attest that or attribute that to a lot of that to the diet that we have now. All the sugar, all the fake meats, all the fake foods. They have a lot of soy and things of that nature, things that can disrupt the natural balance of a person, especially a man. So when you got men out here and we have less male testosterone, while you got a lot of young men talking like in their 20s and 30s who have to take blue pills or whatever kind of pills and, have less sex drive because of the things, because of the environment where there's like I say, bad food, less exercise, more, let's say, like, I guess, porn, things of that nature. And, not, a lot of them being raised by women. That's where the toxic part comes in. So before y'all fall for that whole toxic masculinity thing, make sure you understand exactly where it comes from and where it stems from. Okay, let's get on back to it. Let's say, yeah, she got mad because he said all she can do is make a sandwich. Kind of like James Evans said, there's only two places a woman belongs: Florida, kitchen and the bedroom. Kitchen and the bedroom. He said, she said, quote, "I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion." Where in the scripture does it say that? If it ain't in the scriptures and you go into these churches and giving these testimonies about how racist everybody is against you, I want you to also go in that church and ask that pastor, where is it in the scriptures where it say that you don't need anything from a man? A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And find that in the scriptures and then find where that creates healthy, long-lasting relationships with a man and woman to become husband and wife and have kids and have a family and, say, until death do you part. I will wait. Put it down there in the comment section. Wade split from his wife years ago, but only negotiated a temporary settlement with her in January, bringing the matter toward a close. He and Willis have repeatedly insisted that romance didn't start until 2022, after Wade had been selected to prosecute the Trump case, and that things between them ended in 2023. However, the entire case threatened to derail when lawyers for the defendants presented evidence that the couple had been an item before Wade's appointment to the court, which they claimed showed a clear conflict of interest. It also alleges that Willis prolonged the case against Trump and his co-defendants so Wade could rake in more pay from the county, which he then used to take her on lavish trips. So back to when he said when they found out that the moment they found out that they had feelings for each other and they was falling in love, that's when they ended it. So going on trips across country, across continent, across the world, taking cruises, driving hours on end to go to lunch. Remember then he said that, man, we should drive for hours just to go to lunch. That means you weren't working that day. I'm sorry, but I work a job where Yeah, you have, maybe 30 minutes or an hour for, an hour for lunch, 15 minutes for a break, maybe 30 minutes for lunch, depending on, when you're working, where you're working, so forth and so on. I ain't got time to say, hey, let's go to lunch. Living in Texas or living in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I don't have time to say, hey, let's go to lunch. Hey, where you want to go? Let's go to Tulsa. Let's just drive to Tulsa, Oklahoma and go to lunch for the day. Now, if you're doing that, that's pretty much meaning y'all ain't working that day. So you ain't just going to Tulsa for lunch. You going for Tulsa for other things. Now you might take in a drive, but don't make it just seem like, oh, we just drive there. We drive there all the time just to go eat. Man, you must be crazy. I'm not going to drive no 4 or 5 hours in a day to go to lunch and then come back. And then so they're gonna wait on you to come back? Yeah. Let's say after a number of hearings, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee ruled in March that there was a significant appearance of impropriety in the hiring, and either Willis or Wade would have to step down. Wade announced his resignation the same day. I think we all say that was like a bum move by the judge, where he should just told them both they had to go, because if you said that it looks like there was some lying, then basically you're saying, yeah, what y'all was doing was not right. And that was the whole basis of the case, is whether you can prove it or not, if it looks like there's some wrongdoing, you gotta take them off the case. And for some reason, the judge didn't do it. So yeah, that was kind of, like I say, that wasn't a good look. It said, asked by ABC News Lindsay Davis if he regretted the relationship with Willis, who was still prosecuting the case, Wade gave a roundabout response. I regret that a private matter became the focal point of this very important prosecution. This is a very important case, he said. I hate that my personal life has begun to overshadow the true issues in the case. During the interview, Wade appeared to downplay the scandalous affair that still threatens to upend the DA's case against the former president. Workplace romance are as American as apple pie, he said, adding, it happens to everyone, but it happened to the two of us. And yeah, it does. But the thing is, it's about when you have to, how do you say it? You have to, like I say, show restraint. You have to show professionalism when you're at work. Yes, there may be relationships that happen. Hell, I know people that date. Hell, I know people that done got married, working together. It happens. But when it can look like a conflict of interest, which is why a lot of companies are against it. I mean, shoot, you can have, like, let's say, like in the hospital, you can have a nurse, you can have a PCT, and let's say they start getting to, like, to a relationship, something romantic. It's frowned upon because they say the nurse, it's kind of like they say the nurse could be using his or her position to influence the PCT. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like to where that it could affect the job. If everything is going good, the nurse may give the tech easy assignments, may let them be relaxed, may get somebody else to do the work or what have you, or may request that tech all the time when it's time to work. Or if they get into it, then that nurse could be the one to try to get at PCT all kinds of work and work them to death, and try to overwork them, and they can get into some kind of spat, verbal, or maybe hell even physical, but some kind of spat at work. And people realize this kind of stuff. People know when there's something going on with two people, and it's not professional. And it may be like the most subtle things. And then, today you might bring them lunch. Somebody say, person might say, hey, what you buying for lunch? Like, oh man, I ain't buying no lunch. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, oh, I'm finna go to lunch. Do you want anything? And like, yeah, sure. I'll take a Starbucks or a latte or something. Okay, fine. Then next thing you know, they're bringing them coffee every day. And next thing you know, they're bringing them like big lunches every day. And next thing you know, they take them. They're going to lunch at the same time all the time. Things happen. People start to see it. So companies don't want that to happen because they don't want it to interfere with work-related tasks. Understood. But for this dude to say that their relationship ended the moment they felt that they was falling in love with each other, like I said, you going on trips around the country and around the globe, and you have no feelings for each other. Is that the lie you telling? Is that why the New York Post said what you said is absurd? Not just that it was the opposite of what Fonnie said, because what she said was ignorant too, but you said something that don't make a lick of sense. But anyway, like I say, it's not, as I say, it's not over. I think right now they're going through some hearings with Fonnie Willis, and she's going to have to testify to some stuff under oath. And so this is not over. And it's a good possibility that this Trump case may just be dismissed once all this is said and done, because, once the government gets to poking and prodding into your business, man, there's nothing that they can't turn over. So anyway, hey, we'll see what happens. I think, what was it? Nathan Wade's wife said that she knows that he got like $500,000 stashed somewhere. So I guess he had to come out and do this, do this interview to try to save face, to try to put a spin on everything, because he hadn't said nothing. Everything that's being said about him is not looking good right now. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Hey, let's have a dialogue. You know how we do it around here. I love to see your comments. I love to respond to your comments. Hey, if you want to support the channel, there are 4 ways you can support it non-monetarily. You can like, share, comment, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, but maybe a couple of minutes out your day. However you do it, I appreciate it. I thank you. If you want to support monetarily, you can always do super thanks, super chats, or look in the links in the description box. There are ways to support there. But like I said, however you support the channel, I thank you 100%. I mean, likes are probably the best thing you can do, that is the least that I would like for you to do. Anything else is a bonus. But with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.